Boom! What's going on, go-getters? This week's episode, we got the city of Wilkes-Barre in a headlock.
Yeah, man, in this week's episode, we talked to George Brown, the mayor of Wilkes-Barre. We've been waiting to do this pod for a very long time. The video does cut out at about 32 minutes, but fortunately, stay tuned to the end of the pod because we do talk about some amazing upcoming projects that the city has to offer, including him and I as well, so stay tuned. Come here, turkey.
How'd you guys get into this, by the way? Hobby?
Yeah. We like a lot of podcasts, so we decided why not we just do our own.
Why not?
There's a ton of really cool people in this area, that would
Except for this one, but other people are really cool.
True. You should see some of the people we talked to so far. We talked to Greg Skrepnek, who played in the NFL. We talked to Josh Mason, who owns Fame Strength.
Right.
We talked to Josh Snell, who does he operates out of this warehouse on Pennsylvania Ave, and he does a thing called Save the Wave, where he sells clothing that he buys from thrift stores, and he uses that money to help clean beaches
Very nice.
on the East Coast.
Cool.
And he's doing a lot of cool stuff. He's skydiving, and he's getting his pilot's license, so he's up to a lot of cool stuff.
Okay, so why did you decide to interview this nerd right here when you got all those powerful people like, macho guys, and you got a nerd like me? What's going on?
Well, because want to start it? Let's start it.
Yeah, we're good.
Well, because you're the mayor of Wilkes-Barre, and Wilkes-Barre has a lot of potential. Like the city of Wilkes-Barre, people often discredit, and they say, it's a very common narrative that people need to get out of Wilkes-Barre. I don't know if you're aware of this, but it certainly is within our generation and the older generations. And I think the complete opposite. I think the city of Wilkes-Barre has a lot of potential for people to do amazing things. There's a lot of potential for people to start businesses and chess leagues and honestly do whatever they want,
Well, I agree with you as a mayor, and we did start some programs utilizing American Rescue Plan monies.
Yeah.
And we received $37.1 million from the federal government, and I created Mayor Brown's 9-point plan. And what we did there was we took $7.1 million, identified certain areas that will help people. And one of them was we mailed out $8,400 $300 stimulus checks to people that were needy, low-income people.
$300, right?
$300 per check. We mailed out 8,400. We also started a program. If you want to start a new business in the city of Wilkes-Barre, a new business, we will pay your rent for the first year.
Oh, okay.
So
wow.
in like the shop location, or is it for the person's house?
No. This is nothing to do with your house. If you bring a new business to the city of Wilkes-Barre, okay, Joe's Hoagie Shop. Let's just use that. So Joe creates a hoagie shop, comes to Wilkes-Barre. I'm going to pay his rent for the first year of his hoagie shop.
Oh, wow.
Up to $10,000.
Wow.
If Joe decides to buy a building and put his hoagie shop in there, and that's his primary shop, I'll pay his mortgage for the first year, up to $10,000.
Wow.
And it could be even higher based on the amount of employees that Joe brings. Okay, so that's the second program. We will pay your rent for new businesses for the first year.
Cool.
Other thing we did was we took the charities that are located within the city of Wilkes-Barre. There's 24 charities that are located in the city of Wilkes-Barre. I gave them $1 million. And we divided up $1 million between 24 agencies. Between 24 agencies, they received $990,000.
Whoa.
The lowest amount was for a person who had a one-person social agency. They received $10,000.
Wow.
The highest was $75,000. So those 24 agencies, based on their budget and what they do, they received a certain amount of money, anywhere from $10,000 to $75,000. That was $990,000 American Rescue Plan money we put into that.
Wow.
If you want to buy a home in the city of Wilkes-Barre and you qualify, we will help to pay $7,500 of your closing costs.
Oh, my God.
Another thing is, if you have a house in the city of Wilkes-Barre and you qualify financially, we will pay $7,500 of repairs for your primary residence. We have 26 new businesses starting because of the program where we're paying their rent. We have over 20 new home buyers, and we also have about 110 people that are having their homes remodeled because of this program.
Heck yeah.
Now, a couple other things we did as part of the 9-point program, We reduced garbage bags from $13 a package to 10. We reduced the parking meters from $2 an hour to $1 an hour, helping the people. Also, we are doing a lot of waterway repair, meaning different creeks that are in the city of Wilkes-Barre, repairing their walls, the creek walls. We're repairing sewer systems within the city of Wilkes-Barre. So that's all part of Mayor Brown's 9-point plan.
That's incredible.
So that's what we're doing to help stimulate new businesses and new home buyers in the city of Wilkes-Barre. And it's been well received.
That's incredible.
Something else we did with the American Rescue Plan money, we gave a lot of money towards resources for the police department. We bought 10 new police vehicles. Officers now have body cams.
Very good.
All the officers are getting new firearms.
Okay.
Brand new firearms. We're redoing the firing range over at the police station. Okay.
Cool.
We're implementing a technology called Shot Spotter, which means anywhere in the city of Wilkes-Barre someone fires off a gun, we know exactly where it happened instantly.
A police officer or anyone?
Anyone. And it can detect between a firearm being shot off and a fireworks.
Oh,
That's interesting. Wow.
Yes, it's amazing. So we're doing that, and we're also looking at other technologies that are going to enhance the police departments. We're also buying 10 bicycles.
Oh, wow.
We're going to put officers on bicycles in the neighborhoods so that what we can do is have community policing, pure community policing. We have 5 substations within the city of Wilkes-Barre. We're going to be manning those substations. We're hiring 14 new police officers.
Yeah.
So this is purely for community policing, safeguarding our neighborhoods, bringing our neighborhoods back.
Wow, that's incredible. And that brings a lot of light to some of the recent controversies that have been happening in the world with, as I'm sure you guys understand and know, like the difference between communities and police. So I think that is a good job at merging the two together again and building that trust system again, which I think is cool.
You're right. Initially, we started putting people in these substations, and then we had some retirements, so that's one reason why we're hiring new people. But the people that interacted with the police officers on these substation patrols, they loved it. I was getting phone calls from business owners, from neighbors saying, wow, I had a police officer walk in my neighborhood today, and he come up to me and talk to me. And he was very nice and very cordial. Laura, I have a shop, and this officer come in my shop. So I'm very big on community policing, and this is going to be something that's going to be one of my #1 objectives.
That's awesome.
In my mayorship.
Yeah, that's awesome because I feel like Wilkes-Barre is becoming more of a safe city as well.
It is.
I think like you don't hear many, stories about crime as much as you might have used to in the city of Wilkes-Barre.
Well, every city has crime. Every city has potholes. All right? Every city. I don't care where you're at. We all have the same issues. And we put together a mayor's committee. If you want me to elaborate on that.
Sure.
We started with 5 mayors right after I became mayor, and I traveled to Scranton to meet with Mayor Paige Cognetti. We hit it off right off the bat. So we tore down that wall between Scranton and Wilkes-Barre. We formed a committee, Mayor Cognetti from Scranton, Mayor Lombardo from Pittston, myself from Wilkes-Barre, Mayor Cussat from Hazleton, and Mayor Coughlin from Nanticoke. And we started a committee where we meet every 2 months talking about similar mayor issues that we could help each other with. That's grown into 9 mayors. We represent over 3 million people.
Wow.
We have the mayor of Philadelphia as part of the mayor's committee. The mayor of Williamsport, Eric Slaughter. We just had the mayor of Harrisburg and the mayor of Easton join our group.
Wow.
Mayor of 44, the mayor of Plymouth. So now you see, and the mayor of Hazleton, Jeff Cussat, was one of the originals. So now we have all these mayors with the same issues, but working together to resolve them as a team. And there's power in numbers. What people think. If we have 9 mayors that represent 3 million people, that's powerful when we go to someone and say, look, we need help.
That's incredible.
How much has that teamship or that team that you guys generated, how much has that benefited the cities, would you say?
Well, like I said, we all have similar situations. Mayor Slaughter in Williamsport has a special needs program park there. We just created a special needs park. sort of looked at what he did. Okay, another one of the mayors had a skateboard park. By the way, we're building a skateboard park.
And I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. We see the blueprints over there.
And I'll show you which one was picked out. There's 4 different versions over there.
A skate park. So how did that idea come about?
It's something that I thought we needed because I see the people on the Millennial Circle in the streets.
Oh, yes.
On the sidewalks.
Yeah.
But also back where I live in the Barney Park area, there was a tennis court that some of the skateboard people took over.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't know if you were one of them, but they took it over and they actually cemented beams into the tennis court. They did a lot of things. So I had it removed and I promised those folks, I said, I'm going to build you a skate park.
Wow.
But I can't have you skateboard here because if someone got hurt, I wouldn't find them until the next morning until someone walks through the park. So I committed to do that. We formed a team of people that are skateboard enthusiasts, scooter enthusiasts, BMX bike enthusiasts.
Yeah. Wow.
They're all on my committee. And we actually got together. We are going to be presenting to City Council next Tuesday to get their permission to approve a resolution that I could spend $450,000 to build that park.
And where would this be located?
At Hollenbach Park.
Okay.
Near the golf course, right?
Yeah.
Right by the golf course.
Nice.
Yeah. You have the golf course. You have a fire station there. Be right past the fire station. So you're going to see a beautiful concrete, well-designed for competition purposes, skateboard park.
That's nice.
So we could have competitions.
Yeah.
People could come in from Lancaster or Harrisburg or wherever and say, what are we going to do this weekend? Well, they have a skate park in Wilkes-Barre. Let's go there. So it'll be open to the public. So that's something that's an idea that we had, and it's going to come to fruition. It'll be done by next year. About this time next year, it should be done.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah,
we're also we have an ice skating rink that we've just put up temporarily on the square. It's a small part of it. That's going to be increased where it's going to be going around the Christmas tree on Public Square.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. Think about it. You have a 30-foot Christmas tree there.
Yeah.
And now we're going to have ice skating rink going all the way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can, we'll have skates that the people can rent very cheaply.
Wow.
And then people can go and actually get some hot chocolate, take their kids, let them skate around the Christmas tree.
Wow.
That's going to happen around November timeframe.
Cool.
This year. So that, along with the special needs park I alluded to, this is a park that's going to be designed for people in wheelchairs. And
Nice.
People that have special needs.
And this is down at Kirby Park, right?
This is at Kirby Park.
Okay.
It's being paid for 100% by voluntary donations.
Wow.
And we've collected $530,000 in about a 9-month period to pay for that park.
Yeah.
So if you went to Kirby Park right now, you'd see there's new sidewalks that we put in. There's pieces of equipment there. We're going to have the ribbon cutting in a couple months. But before that happens, because we're building another zip line. So the zip lines are for the kids that they get in the seats and then they...
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
cool.
we're going to have an opening before that, but the real opening will be after we have the second zip line. We ordered it, and it'll be installed, but we're going to have a soft opening and a ribbon cutting probably in a couple weeks.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
And it's 11 pieces of equipment that were picked out by the special needs committee we formed. I'm big on committees. So this is a voluntary committee. Most of the people on the committee have special needs, children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, or they work in the business, the industry of special needs. They picked out the equipment.
Yeah.
They helped raise the money. But we had a lot of people that actually wrote checks out. I went to different boards of directors. Earth Conservancy gave us $100,000. All One Foundation, $320,000. Colleen Shea Foundation, $40,000. But then we raised other monies through hot dog sales, $14,000 hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Hot dog sales.
The glizzy sales.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We sold hot dogs, that's right. We also sold candy bars. We sold T-shirts. We sold everything like that to make money, to generate money for the special needs park. And we were, like I said, that's how we raised $530,000. But people were very nice. They opened up their checkbooks to us and their hearts.
That's really cool. Can you tell us what's happening near the square on River Street? There's a sign there that says there's going to be a building coming soon, and it looks like it's going to be a multi-purpose kind of building.
It'll be a hotel.
A hotel? That was going to be. And is there going to be a rooftop restaurant on the top of that too?
Well, there's 2 hotels that we're building.
Okay.
First one that will be done first will be over in the corner of Northampton Street and South Main Street. If you went by there now, you'd see a construction site.
Right. I wanted to ask you about that too.
Okay. That's going to be a new hotel. That's going to have a rooftop bar.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Okay, so you could overlook the river and the valley.
Nice.
That'll be starting probably within the next week or 2.
Cool.
We'll start construction, pouring the foundation, and then building the hotel. That'll be the first one built. The other hotel is on the old Sterling site, which you're talking about,
Right.
River Street, and that's in the final phases of the financing for that.
Okay.
That'll be a beautiful hotel with a convention center.
Oh, wow.
Holds 300 people, and it will have a restaurant, and it will have in front of it will be glass, so you can actually overlook the river.
So is there a reason why, or maybe I'm just unknowledgeable about this stuff, but is there a reason why right now Wilkes-Barre seems to be so active and so much seems to be happening? Is it because of this 9-point program, or is there other things influencing it, like just getting out of the pandemic, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's a great question. We're trying to make Wilkes-Barre the entrepreneur capital of Pennsylvania.
Yes. That's what we're talking about, man.
That's my goal. And what we're doing is we're advertising it. We're talking to people that come into my office, and I tell them, look, come to Wilkes-Barre. Start your business here.
Yes. Yeah.
Buy an empty building. Buy an empty lot. And that's been happening. This year, we have about $150 million in new investments in the city of Wilkes-Barre.
Wow, man.
Dude.
Next year, probably another $100 million. Wow. So think about that. Almost $250 million in new investments by the time my 4th year will be up.
That's insane.
So, it's wonderful. So people are coming in, they sit at this table, guys, where you're sitting, and they talk to us about investing in the city, bringing new jobs, investing millions of dollars into new buildings. It's happening. We're creating that atmosphere where people want to come to Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah.
We've sold houses. I know my neighbor sold their house in one day.
Yeah.
Think about it, one day.
Yeah.
Because it was the people from New York that wanted to come and live here because the life here is better than they have now. They paid more than they were asked to pay for.
Yeah.
They paid in cash.
Wow.
And it's a wonderful family. So that's what's happening in the city.
A lot of opportunity, man.
Yes, there is.
A lot of opportunity.
And the programs that we started are even helping that more. 26 new businesses. Think about that.
Yeah.
So, go ahead. Sorry.
No, please, go ahead.
Do you have any...
This is your podcast.
Sure,
So you
okay.
leave me. Go ahead.
Do you have any inside information on what might be happening with Myers High School, being him and I graduated from there, and there's a lot of talks about it might be a nursing home or it might be apartments. Do you have any information on what that might be?
I just know that there's someone who's buying it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're going to keep the football field.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay?
Cool.
But I can't elaborate because what I have is third-hand information, and
Okay.
it wouldn't be fine for me to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a school board member would be able to do that for you.
All right. So I got a pitch for you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So my friends and I, me, Kevin, I have a couple other friends who had this idea. Last summer, I took a trip to Europe. And in Europe, my friend and I, we would work out every day at a calisthenics park. And this calisthenics park was one big area where it had a ton of different equipment where you can do pull-ups on and dips and stuff like that. And I had this idea because there is something similar to this in Kirby Park, but it's not really too utilized. And I think it's because of the spread of all the equipment. I had this idea that it would be cool to have a calisthenics park in Wilkes-Barre for people to work out for free and do body weight exercises without a membership or without anything like that. It's very simple. It's very easy to use. And I think it would be really beneficial for the people of Wilkes-Barre. What do you think about that?
Well, how about we do this?
Okay.
How about let me challenge you
All right.
to give me a drawing of what you're looking for?
Okay. Say less.
And then what we'll do is we'll talk about that. I'm big in investing in the parks. We have 18 parks in the city of Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every single park is getting updated.
Yeah. I was
That's
told
amazing.
that.
Every single park is being updated. So
Yeah.
18 parks. And it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we should start promoting chess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's
And we
talk
get
about
chess
it.
clubs.
Oh, yeah.
And we can buy some of those chess boards that are tables. What do you guys think of that? Do you play chess?
We play
Oh,
a little bit
yeah.
of chess
A little
here.
bit.
How
and
about
there.
we
and
do
there.
a chess?
Yeah.
Something to promote chess.
Yeah. A lot of our friends actually are
Yeah.
heavily involved in like the chess scene, and I think it's so great for the mind. It's so great, like you're speaking on entrepreneurs. It's so great for like the strategy behind being an entrepreneur. I think it's one of the best games for us. So I think that'd be
we
amazing.
should talk about that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I had that idea because I have a friend, shout out to Brian again, who's really good at chess. He's ranked to like 1,500 in chess. It's pretty good. And that's all he does is play chess. And so he got Kevin and I into it, and we always play together. And there is a philosophy behind chess. Being able to strategize and utilize your pieces and make certain sacrifices when it's necessary, and also have the foresight to see where a game or a plan is going to go, right? So that's what got us into chess. And we just thought it would be cool to get a community together, a bunch of people to sit down and just practice this game together. You know,
well, I'm embarrassed to tell you that my 7-year-old grandson plays chess.
Yeah.
And his 71-year-old grandfather doesn't know what a chessboard looks like.
Really?
So I'll tell you that. Yes, he does. He's 7 years old. And he's much smarter than I am. But anyway, I think it's a great idea. We should look at that also, along with the Calisthenics Park.
Yeah. And I think the Calisthenics Park, back to that, is great because, you know, during the pandemic, a lot of people were curious about ways to be healthier. I think one way to be healthier is just simply exercise.
Yeah.
And if you can do it for free right down the street, why not?
At that point, there's no excuse.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, it's not just the young people. It's the people that are older that may have some health conditions.
Yeah.
I mean, I myself, I work out every day for an hour. And I've lost 23 pounds.
Yeah.
Since I started doing that. I want to lose 20
Nice.
more. Because I'm hidden by this table, but you don't want to see this big mayor. But anyway, you know, it's important not for every age to get involved. Watch what you eat. You know,
Absolutely.
be careful what you eat as far as carbs and sugars and things like that. That's why the drinks I gave you, there's no sugar in these, okay, guys?
0 sugar.
No carbs.
Shout out to the mayor.
But anyway, yeah, you're right. I mean, we have to make sure that people take care of themselves.
Yeah.
They'll live longer. They'll be healthier. They'll feel better. I feel great ever since I started working out.
Yeah.
That's great.
So it brought me back to my younger days when I was your age, you know.
What type of workouts are you doing?
Well, I just do treadmill.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's
Nice.
fine for me. I do an hour every day.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, you know, I just feel good after an hour getting off of that.
Heck yeah,
It's
man.
good as long as you're
That's
doing
awesome.
something, man.
But what I do is I make notes while I'm on the treadmill, and then I come in here,
Always
and
working.
I give it to our city administrator, and he said, you were working out again today, weren't you? Look at that.
Sweat on the paper,
But
right?
any, you know, things I asked Charlie to do. So anyway, it's important to work out. It's important to watch your diet and, you know, your stress levels.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that as the mayor of the city of Wilkes-Barre, watch stress levels.
Yeah.
But this is a great job. I love this job. And when you can help people, that's the key to this job, helping people.
So what does a day in the life of the Wilkes-Barre mayor look like?
Well, I start out every day, as I said, working out, you know, an hour in my basement. I have a set-up facility down there. And then come to work, and we have a meeting set up as soon as I get here. We have a staff meeting at 11 o'clock every day. Now, my staff meeting is all my senior staff levels. It's the police chief, the fire chief, director of operations, city administrator, our attorney, and the health director. And we started that right around the time of the COVID situation. So every day I get a report on COVID, but every day I get a report on police, fire, you know, legal, all the other parts of the senior staff. But before we start the meeting, I sit down with Tyler, my executive assistant, and we go over messages. People that have called the mayor's office with issues and problems, and then we'll look at how we direct someone to take care of those issues. Also, there's calls that people make to me. So we go over that. We do the 11 o'clock meeting. I try to grab a lunch, and then after that, my afternoon is booked with things like this: interviews, you know, phone conferences, Zoom meetings, in-person meetings, things of that nature. About 5:30, 6 o'clock is when I return my messages to people. I want to make sure they're home from work before I call them. So I'll call them from my desk and say, you know, it's the mayor. I'm responding to your phone call. You called today. What's the issue I can help you with? So that's my normal day. Go home and enjoy dinner with my wife. Or I'm a trustee at Luzerne County Community College. There might be a trustee meeting, or it might be one of the other boards. I sit on 5 different boards. So it might be one of the other boards that I have. I might have a board meeting. I'm vice president of the Veterans Parade Board of Directors. And we put together the Veterans Parade every year. But we start meeting in March. And it continues right through, you know, the November timeframe. So a lot of things that we get involved with, but my normal day is a lot of meetings, a lot of conversations, but a lot of meetings with people one-on-one. I love to meet with people one-on-one. Another part of my day is what I alluded to earlier, meeting with potential investors in the city of Wilkes-Barre.
Okay, yeah, talk about that.
Sure. I sit in my office here, and they'll say, Mayor, do you have any properties? I heard about the city of Wilkes-Barre. I heard about your programs. And I'll say, what are you looking for? You know, so we've sold properties this year that have been for sale for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
We help them. We look at, are there grants out there?
Mm-hmm.
Are there loans out there for them? What programs are out there for them, whether it be federal or state or local? And we try to make sure that we can have our grant writer help them with that. So we look at what they're looking for, what are their needs, how big a building, how big a piece of property.
Yeah.
Can they build a new building? Can we take a building that they're looking for that might be renovated? Things of that nature. So we look at their specifics. How many employees? And the key to the employees are, the more employees, the easier it is to get grants. Because you want to bring employees into the city of Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah.
It creates revenue for us. It's called earned income tax. There's other things. So we have methods to work with potential new business owners. And I talked to them about the new the Spark program, which is where I will pay their rent for the first year, things of that nature. We call it Spark because you're sparking new business.
Sure.
So anyway, we do that, and I work with the Greater Wyoming Valley Chamber of Commerce to work on that.
Yeah.
So, we're looking at how do we promote the city. We just created a video we'll be releasing in the short term, and it's going to be going out on YouTube and cable TV and other places.
Nice.
And it actually shows the city, and it shows the parks. It shows where businesses can go. It shows about how we'll help you. So it's an informational video that, as I said, is going to help me create the Entrepreneur Capital of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And it was designed for that purpose. Show people where they can come to live, the neighborhoods, where they can come to work.
Yeah.
The fact that we have 3 colleges downtown, Wilkes University, King's College, LCC. When you look to bring in a new business in here, that's your workforce. Those graduates are your workforce. So that's what we're doing. We're doing a lot of updating. We're updating the intermodal, which is the parking garage behind the guard. We're updating that. We're updating Public Square. We're building a $450,000 brand new square stage. It's going to be on Public Square, and it's going to be a beautiful stage unit. We're redoing Public Square over.
Yeah.
We're taking all the pavers that are sort of not very stable and pulling them up and putting new sidewalks in there, new shrubbery, new greenery.
Nice.
New streetscapes, which means new sidewalks and new curbing and new handicapped. We're investing about $5 million in repaving roads. What we do first is we dig up the old sewer lines, which are 100 years old. We dig them up, we redo them, we replace them, and then we pave the roads. But we also put handicapped corners in, and things of that nature. So there's a process that we follow that is really bringing back the city. Pothole patching. There's 600 streets in the city of Wilkes-Barre.
Okay.
Almost every street has a pothole.
Yeah.
So we've been out there, and we created a line that you can call into. I don't call it the mayor's hotline because that was called in the past. It didn't work. We just call it a pothole call-in line, and we've received over 300 streets reported
Nice.
that needed potholes replaced. We replaced about 2/3 of those streets already.
Cool.
And it's the permanent patch. We bought a new machine that doesn't put a temporary patch. It puts a permanent patch on these potholes.
Nice.
So the nice thing is that we're patching them, but it's patched permanently, not temporarily.
And how does that work?
It heats up the asphalt.
Okay.
And it actually takes cold asphalt, heats it up, keeps it hot, so that when they put it down and pack it, it's hot. See, the problem is when people put the cold patch down, it's just granular.
Yeah.
And it's going to come back up. Once this is down, it's a permanent heated patch.
Okay. So what is your call to entrepreneurship? Like, why is that something that is so important to you?
Revenue. It creates revenue for the city.
Yeah.
It brings back the city to greatness. We're on our way. I mean, we have a lot of great things happening in the city. But I want people to see that this is a wonderful place to live.
Yeah.
Bring your employees here. We have great places. We have nice parks. Like I said, 18 parks.
Yeah.
They're all going to be done over. We have great, as I said, a workforce. So the more entrepreneurs I bring in here and start their businesses, the more growth potential we have for the city, the more opportunity for increasing our revenue sources for the city.
Yeah.
I like that a lot, and I think a lot of people our generation are speculating ideas on how to start their own businesses and how to become financially independent. This is a very, very new trend that kids our age are hopping on?
Well, if young people want to start businesses, we have a program for them through the Spark program.
Yeah.
We'll help them.
Yeah. How do you go about applying for that program?
For the new business,
Mm-hmm.
you would contact the Wyoming Valley Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
And they will help you with the paperwork. They'll also help you if you need training on how to start a business, what paperwork's required, what bookkeeping. They will help you, and they'll mentor you. And that's why we worked with the Chamber of Commerce. See, I gave them the money.
Yeah.
They're utilizing that money the way it should be utilized in helping people start a business. So they're a resource for new people to start a business.
Got it.
How good has the turnout for that been so far for you?
26 new businesses.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 26 new businesses. Any standout businesses, like types of businesses that you recognize or saw that impressed you or surprised you?
It's very varied. I mean, everything from employment agencies to
axe throwing.
not axe throwing.
You ever see those?
Have you tried that?
Yeah. No, I didn't try it, but this Sunday they're doing the Valley with the Heart benefit.
Yeah.
And they're doing axe throwing
Axe
there.
throwing there for the first time.
And there's one in 44, I believe, an axe throwing shop.
There is.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've never done it. And I don't know if I would do it. But no, I know what you're talking about. But no, that's not one of the new businesses. But we have them popping up all over the place. It could be a restaurant. It could be someone that offers services as far as for the Latino community.
Yeah.
We have a very large Latino community in the city of Wicksburg. I would estimate probably 15,000 Latinos in Wicksburg.
Yeah.
Now, we have a population of a little bit over 50,000 in Wilkes-Barre, but I would say about 15,000 of those people are Latinos, a large African-American population.
Yeah.
And then everything after that is just it's a mixture. You know, it's wonderful because a lot of diversity in the city of Wilkes-Barre.
Absolutely.
And we love diversity. And that's something that's important to us. Help these people like the Latino community or the African-American communities start new businesses.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
and when we see that, we see people coming from Hazleton starting new businesses because they want to leave Hazleton and come here.
Yeah.
You know, that's wonderful. That's great for us. And we help them. And we there's a lot of different businesses. We have other businesses that we're helping that are larger manufacturers that we're in negotiations right now.
Okay.
So I can't mention their name or what they're about, but
Yeah.
it'd be a very large organization.
Nice.
Cool. So how exactly did you get into becoming the mayor of Wilkes-Barre? Like growing up, did you have an interest in politics? And what made you pursue this career?
No, I did not have an interest in politics at all.
What were you like as a young man?
I loved sports.
Yeah.
You know, went to Myers, played football for a gentleman named Mickey Gorham.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
For 3 years.
Awesome.
And then in my senior year, it was probably the best year I ever had. I blew my knee out.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was really a good year. Back then, you didn't have the repair operations they have now, the scope surgeries. It was more of a dramatic surgery that they had to do. So I was told I could never play again. So, you know, that was the end of my sports career. But I was into martial arts for a while. We did that for a while.
It's awesome.
And then after that, you know, just working in the regular workforce. But I worked for, I have a bachelor's degree from King's College.
Yeah.
In human resources, a master's from organizational management with a specialization in human resources from Misericordia.
Yeah.
So what I did was I worked for several large companies, and I either worked in the senior operations part of it, running companies, running parts of the company, running manufacturing departments, or in the human resource field, where, you know, I would hire people, I would take care of the benefits, compensation for large companies. So I did that for about 38 years. I retired because I was working out of Great Neck, New York, Long Island, and I didn't like driving back and forth. So I retired from there. Now, I did sit on city council for 4 years, and I decided to run for mayor because I did not like the way the city was being run.
Yeah.
Don't like to talk about the prior mayorships, but the fact is that the last administration declared distressed city status for the city of Wilkes-Barre.
And what does that mean?
That means that the state would come in and take over.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang.
What exactly does that entail?
Well, what we do now is, you know, we work with the union, we contract and things like that. More or less, it's taken out of the mayor's hands and put in.
Okay.
So I did not feel that this city warranted to be a distressed city. So when that mayor applied for it, it was turned down by the state.
Yeah.
And I accepted. And I looked at it like, we run this city like a business. I think it could come back. So what we did was we decided to run for mayor.
Yeah.
It's quite a story. I didn't have a lot of money to run for mayor. I started with, I think, $1,750 in my war chest. And
in the war chest?
The war chest.
The war chest.
What else you got in
my
that
little
chest?
war chest. And then the gentleman I ran against had quite a sizable amount of money.
Yeah.
And when you run against an incumbent mayor, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
It really is.
I can imagine.
So we didn't have money. But what we did have, we had a grassroots campaign. Now, what I mean by that is we had volunteers that said, look, George, we believe in you.
Yeah.
We want to work with you. So I had an office, a campaign office that was donated by a business person. And we decided to make an announcement that we were going to run for mayor. And it was at Redano's on Public Square in the back room. And my team was there, and we set up about 30 chairs because I thought that's all we're going to get. People coming out for the announcement. It was a terrible day in February. The weather was terrible. It was icy, rainy.
Yeah.
I said to my wife, I think we better take some of these chairs down. 30 chairs down, and it's just going to be our grandkids and us.
Yeah.
Well, what happened was we had over a couple hundred people show up.
Wow.
And we took over the entire room. We took over the rest of the restaurant, too, that night. And so that sort of gave me an idea that maybe we had a chance.
Yeah.
Okay. That was just for the initial announcement. Now, I give back to the city roughly $50,000 a year I don't take in salary and benefits.
Wow.
Okay. Because I knew the city was in bad shape. And I didn't feel comfortable doing that, taking a full salary and full benefits.
Yeah.
So every year, I don't take that. And that was part of my campaign announcement that, so the announcement went well. Now the next thing is to have the opening for our campaign headquarters.
Yeah.
Once again, I thought, well, we'll put out 30 chairs and hopefully we'll get 30 people because this is something different. Now we're going to, open up our office. Well, it was a large office and it was standing room only and they were outside the door.
Wow.
So now I'm thinking again, this might be a good indication of what we have. So the next step was to fill out petitions.
Yeah.
You have to get a certain amount of signatures on your petitions. People would volunteer to come in and walk the streets with us getting petitions. We got twice the amount we needed to be put on the ballot. So that was something that was pretty encouraging also. You walk on the street, you knock on a door, and you say, would you mind signing this petition for George Brown? And it was very well received. So now we're on the ballot. The next step is we have to start campaigning. Now, how did I campaign with $1,752?
How do you go about doing that?
I have some strategy for that one, huh?
Well, we put a large map on the wall, and our team of roughly 30 volunteers walked every single street in Wilkes-Barre.
Dang.
And when you walked the street, you yellowed out the street. Every street in Wilkes-Barre was yellowed out because we had to get the name out there, the word out there that George Brown was running and he needs your vote. So those people that worked with me, we walked every day. On Wednesdays, we had a group of people that may have some mobility issues. They sat in the office or they went home and took a list and called them saying, would you mind voting for George Brown? So anyway, that worked out. And the signs were good because I'd knock on the door and say, I'm George Brown, I'm running for mayor. Oh, yeah, I'm going to vote for you. I'm going to vote for you. So it was a great sign.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was the campaigning part that we did. We did a couple meet and greets where people come out, and like I said, didn't have a lot of money. I was getting smaller donations coming in at $25, $50. So we had enough to hold meet and greets, and things like that. So we had some of those. And then after that, it's time for the primary. Now, the primary, you have a Democrat, Republican running.
Yeah.
And different candidates. You might have 2 or 3 Democrats, 2 or 3 Republicans. So the winner of the primaries on a Democratic and Republican and Independent, they run in the general.
Yeah.
The winner of the general is your new mayor. So the primaries came up. Now there's 22 wards in the city of Wilkes-Barre, 22 voting wards. Now we have to get people to staff at those wards on election day and hand out cards. We had enough volunteers that I had at least 2 or 3 people at every location.
Wow.
they didn't even want to leave. I'd say, you go home for an hour. No, I want to stick around. We provide lunch for them and stuff, but they were working hard that election day. You know, like I said, 2 or 3, sometimes we had 4 or 5 at certain large double ward areas. Yeah. And the voters came out. They came out. Election night, the elections closed at 8 o'clock. About 8:25, I got a call from the prior mayor saying, George, I concede you won the election. I said, Mayor, you can't do that. I said, it's only 25 after 8. I said, you still may win this. He said, you already have enough votes for you to win.
Wow.
We wound up with 76% of the Republican vote and 76% of the Democratic vote.
And what do you attribute that to?
The hardworking people. The people that went out and knocked on doors and made phone calls. The people that got my message out. So that was an outstanding win. I was told by a local reporter it was the only time in history that he knows of, and he's been reporting mayor elections for 30 years. Yeah. No mayor candidate ever won all 22 wards. And we were lucky enough to do that. That's because the people believed in us and the hard work of the dedicated campaign workers. Now, I'm sure since I took over as mayor, there's some of those people that don't feel the same way because you can't please everybody.
Sure.
And no matter what you do, if you make a decision, you have to make that decision, whether people like it or not. But in your heart and your mind, you know it's the right decision. Yeah. Okay, that's what you have to do. And when I make a decision, it's always what's best for the citizens of Wilkes-Barre, the business owners. Yeah. So it's because of, like I said, the people that worked hard. The bad weather. They're out there knocking on doors. Yeah. The bad weather, they're getting petition signatures. You know, so anyway, what happened was I won the primary, the Democratic and Republican. So I ran against myself in November. Wow. And guess what?
You won, right?
I won, yeah. Yeah, we won.
Versus me.
So we won. We were very lucky. And like I said, we get 76% of Democrat and 76% Republicans. So we won the general election. And now it was time to start looking at my team. What team do I put together? Yeah. You know, who do I pick as executive assistant, city administrator, people like that, fire chief, police chief. Right. Because they're all positions that the new mayor can appoint. I was very lucky. The team that's here, the police chief, the fire chief, are doing a great job. My executive assistant, she does a very good job. The city administrator who you met, he was an attorney. City of Wilkes-Barre. He closed his law practice to come work with me as our city administrator because he believed in what we're going to do. So it's been a rough 2 years. The first 2 years were terrible. They were horrendous. We had the COVID situation. Yeah. We had to cancel the parades. And then, in the heart of the COVID situation, the roof blows off at City Hall. Yeah. Wow. I mean, the roof blew off. Yeah. It was gone. Yeah. $500,000 roof repairs. Oh, man. So that's bad enough, right? You got COVID. You got the roof blown off, right? Bad enough. Nope. What happens next is we find that when the roof blew off, there was a lot of water damage and damage to the building. Yeah. I just repainted this building from the first floor up to the 4th floor. Yeah. All repainted. So there's damage. We find out on the 4th floor here that the floor was damaged, and we find out it's asbestos.
Oh, no.
So now we have to bring the asbestos removal teams in. And they had to tear up the floors, and they had to put a new floor in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floors. That's bad enough, right? No, it's not bad enough.
Keeps getting worse.
Oh, yeah. Keeps getting worse. So next, the elevator that you came up on, it's 100 years old, it died. Just stopped working. And it's 100 years old, so there's no parts for it. So we had to actually pay $53,000 at parts manufacturer to get it going again. Yeah. And unfortunately, my executive assistant was stuck in it. Tyler was stuck in it.
Oh, dang, how long?
I love her. Well, until the police or fire department came in. The fire department had to get her out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So anyway, so that stops. So that's bad enough, right?
Yeah. No. Keeps getting,
The HVAC system in the city hall dies. No HVAC like you see today. Yeah. So it's been one thing after another. Bad enough, right?
Let's see.
I'm assuming.
No, not bad enough.
Gets a little bit better?
We had a couple flood scares.
Oh, dang.
We had a flood scare that just last year, that we had, if we had extreme rain for another half hour, it would have flooded parts of South Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah, I recall.
I had to evacuate 4 neighborhoods in the city because they were in danger.
Yeah.
So that's bad enough, right?
Let's see.
I'm assuming that.
Yeah, that's bad enough. That's
All right, good. We're good. All right, so that's pretty bad.
Other than that, my car got hit 4 times in the parking lot, but we
Oh,
won't
wow.
mention that. But
Dang.
anyway,
Yeah, I guess there's always those trials and tribulations.
that you got to go through.
Right.
Yeah.
but this year is a great year.
Yes.
We're back.
That's good.
Revenues are going well. We have a great workforce.
Mm-hmm.
We have 4 unions that we deal with, and they're all wonderful people. We have the Teamsters. We have City Hall. It's called 1310. We have the fire union, and we have the police unions. And all these folks work hard. They work hard. They do a great job, and we support. We have a great workforce.
Now,
Go ahead.
how do you find time to manage all of this? This always is blowing my mind about people in positions like yours. How do you find the time in a given day to be able to focus on all of these different moving pieces at once?
Well, I haven't had a weekend off in a long.
Yeah.
Saturdays and Sundays I work.
Yeah.
But also, I'm the last one to leave City Hall. I turn the lights out. And but I love that.
Yeah.
I love the fact that we're getting things done. We're turning the city around.
Yeah.
And it's really ready for a new beginning. It's poised for greatness. It really is. And you're going to see that. A couple of years from now, you're going to say, I remember sitting with that mayor guy, and he told me this, he told me that. I didn't believe him, but you know what? It really happened.
No, I'm all for it.
Yeah, seriously,
it's going to happen. This city is going to really open up, and people are going to say, wow, I can't believe what happened in Wilkes-Barre.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when that happens, I will not take credit for it. It's my team.
Yeah.
Everybody working together. I'm big on teamwork, and it's the team.
Yeah.
The team does a great job.
So, how was it like hanging out with Joe Biden yesterday?
Oh, yeah. Talk about that.
Well,
What was that like?
it was something I never expected because I didn't think that I'd be able to be in his motorcade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that I'd be able to introduce him to the world. But about 3 or 4 days ago, I was notified that they decided that they wanted me to introduce the President of the United States. And
How does that feel?
Oh, my God. Then I'd meet him on the tarmac along with other elected officials and speak to him there. And then I'd be part of the motorcade coming here. So it's like, wow, this is amazing. President of the United States. So anyway, we did our speech, and we had to make sure that everything was okay, and we'll put in the speech.
Was it a good turnout for the speech?
It was by invitation only.
Oh, okay.
So we had about 700 people, but you couldn't get in unless you were invited, and then you had to go through the background. You had to do all that kind of stuff. And then they had to take a COVID test, too.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was limited to how many they could be there because they have a large entourage of people, too, that they bring.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And the lighting and everything else. So anyway, we had a rehearsal yesterday. About 11:30, we went through a full rehearsal with the band, and I read my speech and stuff. We got in the police chief's car, and we went up to the airport. And I met Governor Wolf up there, Senator Casey's wife, Mayor Cognetti from Scranton, and we just sat around waiting for the president to arrive. He arrived about 2 o'clock, I guess. And then when he came in, he was so happy to see us. He came down from the plane. Hey, it's so nice to see you guys. Thank you for being here. And then the rain burst.
Oh, no.
And we physically ran to our vehicles because it was raining so bad. We're soaking wet.
Yeah.
Now, I'm lucky. It doesn't take long for my hair to dry.
Yeah, right.
But poor Paige Cognetti has long blonde hair.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we rode from the airport to Mart's gym, and it was just an amazing turnout. We had a lot of things that we got done. We got pictures taken with the president, one-on-one pictures. We had some discussions with the staff. Secret Service was amazing.
Yeah.
His support staff that comes, they call the advanced staff. They were amazing. They worked with us. It went off really well. And then it was time for my speech. I said what I could say, and then, introduced the President of the United States.
What are the nerves like on the world stage like that?
It didn't bother me.
That's good.
It really didn't because, you can't fire me.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So anyway, you can't fire me. So I wanted to be there.
Yeah.
And it was an honor to be there. And I met Mr. Biden already. This is my second time I met him. I met him in October in Scranton. So when you meet the president for the first time, but when you met him a couple of times, it's easier to talk to him
Yeah.
as a regular person, even though there's 50 Secret Service guys watching every move.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But he was very very nice, easy to talk to.
That's good.
A gentleman, shook hands, and we had pictures taken.
Mm-hmm.
So that was nice. And then his speech was great. He talked about the SAFER Act and things that he's bringing as far as we're going to be able to hire more police officers, provide training for them and technology. So that's what we want to do here. As a mayor, I will never defund the police. Never.
Yeah.
I will always have more police
Mm-hmm.
than I need. I want to have I want better technology.
Yeah.
I want them to have the best of the best training and technology. So I will never defund our police.
I agree with
That's
that.
a good point. I think a lot of people miss that point.
I agree with that a whole lot.
So yesterday was a win-win. It was a very long day. It takes a lot of energy.
I can
I
imagine.
don't know how these guys do it every time. He's going to be in Philadelphia, I think, in a day
Yeah.
or two. So, but they do it all the time.
Mm.
And Mr. Biden was very nice, very nice.
Probably they got to be very used to that kind of gig at this point.
I don't know if they ever get used to it because it's the President of the United States.
Yeah.
It's something very special. And they fly on Air Force One and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And so, I mean, that's pretty cool right there.
That is pretty
That is a wild lifestyle.
Did Air Force One come to Avoca?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is
And
insane.
we're there when it landed.
Yeah.
And, naturally surrounded by Secret Service people and military people.
Mm-hmm.
But it just makes you proud when you see that Air Force One land.
Yeah.
It gives you a feeling.
And in your city that you take a lot of pride in too. Like having them here, being able to host an event like that must mean a lot to you as well.
It does. I mean, President Biden was supposed to be here in July,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and we were all set up. We went through the setups, and then that morning he had to cancel. So he called
Yeah.
me, and he said, "Mayor Brown, I'm sorry that we had to cancel. My health situation. He had COVID."
Yeah.
And I said, President Biden, I said, your health is number one.
Yeah.
Can you please think about rescheduling? He said, I'll do my best. Well, his promise came through,
Mm-hmm.
and he was here, like I said, yesterday. So he held up his
Yeah.
promise to me.
Awesome. So how did these come into fruition?
Oh yeah, the Ukrainian
Yeah,
chocolates.
Ukrainian chocolate, yeah.
Yeah.
That is a good story. We support the Ukraine.
Of course.
If you go on Public Square, you'll see a Ukraine flag flying.
Yeah.
Anything we can do, we help the Ukraine country of Ukraine. So what happened was my fire chief and I looked at, does he have any equipment that he cannot use that maybe the Ukraine country could use in their fight? So we found a lot of turnout gear, air compressors, air masks, things of that nature, protective equipment that we could no longer use, but was okay to use in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
So what we did was we packed up 2 trucks. They came, Ukraine official came, loaded the trucks up. They shipped it to New Jersey. It went to Poland. Poland, it went to the Ukraine.
Wow.
They were very appreciative. So then we decided, what else can we do to help this country? We had 17,000 N95 masks that we couldn't use because they had the cone on them that was for dust catching and stuff.
Yeah.
I can use it for spray painting and stuff. Okay, we can't use them.
Mm-hmm.
They were given to us, 17,000 masks, probably worth about $100,000.
Yeah.
We donated those to the Ukraine. Now they brought 3 trucks and loaded up the trucks, took it to New Jersey, shipped it to Poland. So what happened was, in the meantime, our contact with the Ukraine, name is Ivan. He has family over there, and he's connected with the government in some way. He came into my office one day and gave me a letter of appreciation, which sits over on my windowsill over there. Letter of appreciation from the Ukraine government and boxes of candy and a picture of the Ukrainian firefighters is over there with the fire equipment that we gave them.
Wow.
And he notified us last week that the ambassador from Ukraine to the United Nations will be visiting Wilkes-Barre City Hall
Wow.
Oh,
that's
wow.
dope,
in
man.
September. She wants to come and express her appreciation for what we did.
Wow.
That's
So
amazing.
think about this. We had President Biden yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and sometime within the next 4 weeks, we'll have the United Nations ambassador from Ukraine here.
Wow.
How does that make you feel, man? That this is, the city that you stand behind, and that all of this stuff is taking place here, that all these people are willing to come out and talk to you and your community that you have here.
I'm very proud of this city.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of what we do to help people out. The program we put together, the Mayor Brown's 9-point plan, and American Rescue Plan that we're doing, and even helping the Ukraine with the point we could. I wish we could do more.
Yeah.
But still, they were very appreciative because the people that are going to be using those masks are the ones that are going into bombed buildings and try and dig bodies out in safety.
Do rubble, yeah.
So in our way, it's our way of trying to help save lives. Yeah. I'm very proud of those things that we do.
Yeah, man. That's
awesome. It's really cool that you're as proactive as you are.
Yeah.
I wasn't really too aware of this before I came in and had sat down and had a conversation with you.
Well, I don't like to promote myself because that's not what I'm about. You know, I'm about teamwork. I'm about the team concept.
Yeah.
So you'll never see me take credit for something.
That's awesome, man. What would you do if there was ever a zombie apocalypse in Wilkes-Barre?
I would move.
Move? Where to?
No, seriously. If there was like an outbreak and zombies just started coming around, were you out in the...
Do they like water?
Zombies?
I don't think we'll know until we know.
Pardon me?
I don't think we'll know until we know.
Depends on what zombies.
Then I go probably someplace that's close to water. So if they don't like water, I can jump in the water.
All right, cool.
So what are some of the things you like getting into, say, outside of like mayorship? Like what are things that like intrigue you or hobbies, outside of this whole thing that, keep you going or keep you active or so on?
I have a place in my heart for special needs people.
Yeah.
I always have. When I was on city council, I used to have special needs Easter egg hunts and special needs Christmas parties. But to be honest with you, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we just couldn't do it anymore. So that's why we created the special needs committee. But I like to donate my time. I like to work with them. If I see a special needs person in Target, I'll go up to them and say, hey, we're building a park for you.
Yeah.
I'll tell them where it's going to be at. And just to let the mother or father know that, hey, look, we're going to have a place for your child to go. So I have, like I said, a place in my heart for special needs people. I have 5 grandchildren. I try and spend as much time as I can with them. One is 2 weeks old.
Oh, wow.
So when he gets a little bit bigger, I'll feel more comfortable holding him. Yeah. But, like I said, I have 5 grandchildren. Family's big to me. Family's everything. My wife and I are married 50 years.
Oh, wow.
So, family's big to me, really is. That's probably the most important part of who George Brown is.
Yeah.
He's a family man.
Yeah, man. Cool. Yeah?
All good. Yes, sir.
Let's wrap her up.
Yes, sir.
Thank you again, Mayor Brown. Like, this was, honestly, I know we didn't say much about it coming in, but when we had started this whole thing, we had always talked about, like, kind of like the chapters in which we wanted to, take this whole podcasting journey. And we always said that once we had you on the podcast, because we've lived in the city for so long and we've been involved in the city and the community for so long that we thought it'd be a great way to end off our first chapter of the podcast by having you on, because kind of just shows us that, like, from where we started to where we came, and like kind of, we always describe it as like taking over the city in our podcast game. I do really appreciate you for coming on, because we had always talked about making this like a reality. It didn't seem real about a month or so ago, and then it happened, and here we are. And I think it was amazing, and I think the connection between like with what you're doing and then our generation and our community and our friends, I think it's great to mold those two together, because I think there could be a big like disconnect on occasion. And I'm very happy that you took the time out of your busy day to come here and join us, man. So I really appreciate it.
I'm happy to take the time and spend with you guys. I think this is wonderful what you're doing.
Thank you.
And I think it's a way of also promoting what you do, but promote what the city does too.
Absolutely.
So I welcome this opportunity.
It's a beautiful city we have here. And I genuinely think, like he was saying earlier on, there's so much potential going forward for the city. And I think a lot of people can sleep on this area on occasion, but just know, like, us two young men, like, we're not doing that. We do not plan on taking sleep on this city or whatever. We tend to keep going as hard as we can, and we want this place to be known around the world. We want to put this place on the map. So, thank you, man.
Thank you, guys.
Again,
Thank you.
Time. Boom.
Bang.